Hey folks, AJ the CEO here, and I kind of want to go back to the basics. We do a lot of review videos on products and cameras and all this other stuff. But one of the things that I think is essential is going back to the basics, understanding the flow of how everything will work, how all of it puts together, and just the workflow of understanding how does all this media ministry, how does all this tech that you see I got here, how do we actually efficiently put it together? So I'm going to do this as a series, but I'm going to be heading down to Antioch because I got to go drop off some stuff, some enhancements to their sound system that we've been working on. But I want to walk through my suggestions on some, maybe the top 5, 10, I don't know a number yet, of some tips on getting the most out of your workflow and kind of what I essentially think is good practices to put in place for your ministry as a foundation to help what you're doing. It doesn't matter the type of cameras, the type of setup. These are going to be essentials that I think every ministry should do. So let's get in the car, head down to the church, and then let's go from there. Alrighty, we're up here in the media booth. We got a bunch of stuff here. Let's turn everything on. Now, the one thing I would highly recommend you first do, and I do this, I haven't done an on-site in a minute. I have one coming up next week. But what I would highly recommend, and I talk about it all the time, and I've done it in the on-sites, is to use a program like draw.io or Visio, whichever one. I use draw.io. That's https://draw, draw.io. That is an actual website. And I use that to document everything up here, how everything is going together, how everything is connected together and everything. And I had a document, I don't know where they put it, but it's on the computer. But I highly recommend first, document how all of this stuff is connected. The reason why is you want to be able to have some type of go-to when you bring on new people. And I know some of y'all are saying, oh, AJ, it's only just me up here. Well, you have to believe that you're actually going to have more than just one person up here so that you can actually have some help. And, it's good to have this in place anyway so that you know how everything goes. And if you have a technical issue, that's the reason why I know the system up here like the back of my hand, because I literally touched everything. I mean, there are 5 cables up in the ceiling that run all the way back here that come from right there, that go to the camera in the front. I mean, all of the stuff, I've been everywhere inside of the church, so kind of know how the stuff goes, and that's how we're able to do upgrades, and we can maintain stuff, and we can fix stuff when there's an issue. And this is kind of like from a installer standpoint. If you are not doing this and you had somebody install the stuff at your church, please make sure in one of your requirements that you have them list everything, how all this stuff goes together. Because, for me as a business person, I like to let everybody know how the stuff is working. So that way when everything is done, or if they have an issue, they don't always have to call me. I want to empower the media ministry and the church in general to know what is going on. All right, so that's one thing. We need to know how everything goes together. You don't have to be a tech guru or anything like that, but you kind of want to know how everything goes together. The next thing, you really need to play around with figuring out and testing your live stream and have contingency plans when things go awry. So what I've normally done here on the computer, and I'm logging into it right now, is when you live stream, you need to know intimately how live streaming works, not just from the software to the cameras and all this other stuff. We need to know the flow of how it goes here. It goes out. It goes out from here into the computer, and it goes out to your platform of choice, so that if anything comes up, then you can go to like a be right back. You know how much time you got going on, or if you have technical issues, something like this, which is a part of the OBS bundle that we sell. This is where it all came from. Knowing the flow of how this works, so that if, God forbid, something happens, you're able to have some type of contingency plan to know, okay, if we stop this is how much time we got going here. If something happens, where are we going to? What are the platforms we're going to? If Facebook is down, if YouTube is down, how do we go to one place? Don't just assume that you've set this up years ago and it's just always going to work. You should refresh yourself on how this stuff works in general. The other thing is, as you can see here, we obviously have OBS here that can actually record. We also have a hyper deck here that can record the video, and with the X32, with our thumb drive here, we can record. I highly recommend, it doesn't matter how great your stuff is, please consider recording everything. Because again, you just never know what happens. I mean, here, we've been here before to where somebody has come into the church before and we've had to use the cameras to record. You know, if something crazy has happened, we've had medical emergencies in here. We've had a bunch of stuff and you just never know. You don't want that stuff to go out and you not be in control of it. So that's the best way about recording. I always recommend recording anyway, so that way you can now start editing, you can start doing shorts, you can have a bunch of things that are beneficial to your ministry, but the recording is also a backup. So you got to be mindful of that. So I always recommend that. I mean, if you have a computer and you're running OBS or something like that, this is going to have it built in. You can always start recording there. You can always get an external drive, put another drive inside your computer if you're comfortable with that. Not really hard. We've done that before if it's available. And then you can record. You can also have a NAS, anything like that. Or, you can get a hyperdeck. I have the smaller one at home that you can just have these memory cards and it records. Highly recommend that you record everything that's going on from a church service, because then it's multiple purpose for that. You can actually reevaluate when you're doing training with your media ministry, how its stuff sounds, because you might be here and like you said, this is a bad spot for us. When I was up here, because the speakers are right here. So we get great sound and there's no obstruction. This is not realistic sound compared to what everybody on the floor is listening to, nor is it realistic to the people that are listening on the live stream. So it's good to record. If you're not editing or anything like that, record so that you can review what's going on, so you can make improvements for the media ministry. You can also share that with the music ministry. You can always share that with the ministerial staff as well too, because it's all about making what we do better. So those are two things. We got to document what we're doing. We also need to practice. Actually, that's three. We also need to practice and know how all this stuff works, so that if anything happens, we can jump into action, say restream is down, whatever. You know how to actively go and restream manually to any of the platforms you're going to, as well as record everything, because you just never know, for backup purposes as well too. Now, we've talked about this a while, and again, these are refresher tips. So if I had to give this a number four is document what you're doing. That way, and I've always talked about doing this, and just as a reminder, to train. Take a camera, like what I'm using right now, take your phone, whatever, record the entire process of what it takes to do, turn on everything, shut down everything, use everything, how to use the cameras, how to control everything. Have somebody record you do that. Take that recording, write down every single step that it took for you to do what you're doing, whatever the task is. Give that list to someone who is not in the media ministry and see if they can replicate exactly what you did. If you did, that's good documentation, and now you've set that aside. And that can be a part of your inventory. Even the videos could be a part of your inventory. You can upload those privately to your YouTube page, your Facebook page, whatever. Save them on the computer, so you have a frequently asked questions or referral or a living manual that goes along with everything that you're doing, so that people, you got new people in the ministry. Hey, here's the documentation on how to do it. Here's video showing how to do it. And you're practicing the exact same thing. The other thing I would say in that process, set up times with your media ministry to set up a mock live stream. Meaning no one is here, like right now. There ain't nobody here. Come up here, set up everything. Set up a test live stream. I have a video a long time ago talking about how to set up OBS profiles, and let's see if it's still here. We go up here to profiles and we have testing, and it is still here. So you can go to testing here, and this will, for the way I had this set up, it would go to a private page that only the people that are owners of the page can go to. You can run through the entire service from beginning to end, and just practice. Again, last thing you want is to come in on service 5 minutes before service starts and then stuff is broke. This is why you constantly practice, and it just gives you time. It's just like any sports team. They have practice. They don't just show up at the game. They go through everything. So that's another thing that I would highly recommend. And with that, document your workflow. I'm going to be coming out with a video pretty soon talking about, revamping the whole workflow of a church service. So that's not going to be exactly media ministry related, but document your workflow. We don't want to be pencil pushers and be like, at this time we do this, this, and this. Not like that. Not that we're going to be slave to the time schedule, but you should know exactly around what time what goes on. So for example, when I was here, I would be here at 9 o'clock. That's me. Service starts at 10. I would be here at 9. I'm doing battery changes. I'm turning on the system, making sure there are no updates going on. If the program presentation software has not been updated, I do that. We put our scripture in. We set up everything. So by the time it's 9:30, I've already done all of that stuff. The technical has been assessed. By then, they got probably 10 minutes left of Bible study. Musicians started coming in. We started getting them dialed in, working on trying to do a sound check. We never really had that, but get a sound check, make sure that the mics are working, the levels are fine for everybody, for the musicians and everything like that. And then at around 9:45, we started our live stream, which gives us 15 minutes to see if there's any other issues going on before we go live. We verify, is the camera feed going through? Is the audio going through? Somebody go to Facebook, somebody go to the website, somebody go to YouTube. Is everything working? You check all that stuff, and then that same practice that we did, now we're going through running the entire thing of service, just like we did in practice. So now, can I remember all the things that we just did? First, we got to document everything that we have. If you had somebody install, please require them to include documentation of how all this stuff goes together. Have an intimate relationship on how this stuff works, knowing how the flow gets to your computer, how the platforms work, how to live stream, how to go to the different platforms, all this other stuff. And in case you're using Restream or Caster or something like that, how to manually go to Facebook, go to YouTube, whatever platform you're doing, if all the automated stuff doesn't work. Number 3, we also want to make sure that we're recording everything that we're doing here, whether this is going to be video and audio with changes that we do through OBS, or just audio. Record backups, because you never know why you might need them. You might need it because something happens here, a security issue here, but more importantly, record it because you can also use it for your starting to build out your B-roll. You can start making videos and clips and shorts and all this other stuff with changes in social media. It's good to just record the stuff instead of living off of the live stream stuff. And also, it gives you opportunity to edit if something didn't come out right. That's another thing you do. And I forgot what number we left off at. Also, set up tutorials, videos, walking through everything, documenting it, writing down every single step, giving it to somebody else to verify, does this stuff work if they followed the steps, especially if they're not in the media ministry. Also, set up practice sessions to run through everything with your media ministry team when no one is here. To make sure that, hey, when stuff happens, because stuff will happen, that you're prepared. You have contingency plans in place that if something happens, you're able to step in and fill in and fix the issues. Then also review everything that you're doing. The services, I think that might be a new one. Review the recordings, review the stuff that's going on, so that y'all can look for enhancements, because everything can always get better. And then what was the last one? Make sure that you're also setting up a workflow. Document your workflow of how everything works. We're not looking for it to be exactly at this time robotically. We do this, and this. No. Just, you want to have a workflow so that you got an idea of how the stuff flows, so that way when you bring in new people, you have something there instead of having just people fly off the seat in your pants. You want to have it as professional as possible. Document everything. So just think about it. When you got started in media ministry, did you have documentation to do the stuff that you did? If you didn't, now you want to make it better for the people coming back behind you. So that's what it is. Let me know. Do you have any other suggestions? Do you like us going back to basics? We got some more stuff that we're going to be doing here to just help work with the flow. We're going to be dissecting a traditional church service and where can we get rid of some fluff. I'm already prepared for some people not liking that. But hey, it's one of those things that things have changed and we need to revisit and see where things can be enhanced and stuff like that. And that goes with the media ministry as well too. Software is always changing, hardware is changing. What can we do to improve what we're doing? That's what it's all about. So let me know if you like this type of content. And also let me know down below what are other suggestions that you would like me to add in this kind of like back to basics type of series of videos. Don't want to always just talk about computers and tech and stuff like that. We're concern ourselves with how to train our media ministry effectively and especially set it up better for people to come behind us, especially when you're going to have a bigger team, because you will. You just have to keep working towards it. So anyway, if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. Catch you on the next video. Later.